So Rashida Tlaib, she's a congresswoman, I believe. Is she from Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay. I know Ilhan Omar is.
Oh, I might have them confused.
I forget where she's from. Either way, I like what she does. Either way, she's introduced an HR 5664 Living Wage for Musicians Act of 2025. It's called the Artist Compensation Royalty Fund, designed to ensure musical artists receive a fair compensation for their work. I think this is worth us talking about. It's proposed that there will be an additional fund created, paid for by the streaming companies, where essentially every stream is going to be worth at least a penny, which can, in essence, let's say you have 1 million streams in a month or whatever. In the old model, you're going to be banking about $4,200, somewhere around there, depending on the platform. Well, this would mean that number is upwards of $10,000 to $14,000, which is significant for artists everywhere. So yeah, there's a thing we can kind of read through here. I'll read through a little bit. Go ahead and switch to that one. Yeah, just kind of talk about it a little bit. Let's see here. Actually, I think there's another link in Discord. Let me pull up the link in Discord just to kind of. So this is from Quiver Quantitative. So here's a short summary of the bill. The bill, entitled Living Wage for Musicians Act of 2025, aims to establish a fund known as the Artist Compensation Royalty Fund, designed to ensure musical artists receive fair compensation for their work. The establishment. The bill mandates the Register of Copyrights to designate an eligible entity to create and manage the Artist Compensation Royalty Fund. This entity must be a nonprofit organization set up specifically for this purpose, governed by a board that includes artist representatives. Funding the fund. So monetary contributions to this fund will come from service providers, companies offering music streaming services. Must deposit a living wage royalty fee collected from their subscribers. This fee is additional to the regular subscription costs and is set at 50% of the subscription price with a minimum and maximum threshold. Other sources. The fund can also receive donations or grants from government entities or other sources. Payments for the fund. 90% of the distributed funds will go to eligible featured artists, those who are prominently featured on recordings, and 10% will be eligible to non-featured artists such as session musicians or background vocalists. These payments will be based on the artist's share of qualifying streams per quarter. So essentially, depending on what the splits are set at, is kind of what that will be designated as. And there's a way that you can do that on the back end of the like your distribution company. Service providers will have specific duties, including charging the additional living wage royalty fee to subscribers, providing clear statements outlining this fee in their billing communication, keeping detailed records for the revenue associated with the living wage fees and other revenue sources for regulatory oversight. Compliance and enforcement. This bill allows the fund administrator to establish regulations and penalties for services that violate the act, ensuring accountability in the fund's management. So they're trying to really set this up in a way to where, like, these, they have to pay. They can't get around paying. So an artist is a human creator, excluding corporations and AI. I think that is a very cool designation. Not only AI, but also corporations. Featured artist is an artist prominently featured in a song, while a non-featured artist is like a session musician or a background, musician, something like that. Qualifying stream refers to streams of a master recording capped at 1 million streams for payout calculations, which is also kind of a interesting thing too. There, because I wondered how you could combat against fraud in this nature, and I feel like if you cap it at you can't just cap it up forever, right? So because this is going to be
in the streaming farms,
the question that I would probably usher in here is: would something like this usher in a renaissance in artistic growth, or would it make it easier for people to exploit and moonlight as artists?
Well, it depends on how they would, the systems would regulate what people are uploading into that system. So like it said, it caps it at a number.
Yep.
I don't see this being a fail if this is something that is able to be passed. A penny per stream is actually huge. Like when you think of the grand scheme of things, that's huge. Because they're getting percentages of a penny on each stream now. And like how you did the totals, if you stream so many, it would be like $10,000 a month.
Yep.
That's a very livable wage for a common artist, a starving artist, so to speak.
You won't be starving no more.
You won't be starving no more. Nah, I mean, you're making more than
most
regular Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah.
$10,000 a month is solid.
I mean, it puts value in art and society again.
Absolutely.
Which we've been lacking.
Yeah, and it takes away from the whole Matrix point of view and how things are going right now. So I think this is a win-win. I don't really see any negative repercussions. I don't have any negative thoughts on.
Well, you're not a streaming
what
company.
They propose. Well, I mean, they're monopolies at the end of the day. I mean, you're uploading your music into this program because you have to, because these are the only places that you can go to hear music. You don't have CD players in your car or anything. You have MP. You can plug in a drive or something like that.
Yeah.
That you had some MP3s that you paid for, but
or Bluetooth.
People live on convenience.
Yeah.
If I can carry this in my hand, and it holds my whole library of music. If an album just came out today and I can stream it on my phone on the way to work, that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, that's how we live now.
Yep.
So if an artist is able to be paid a penny off of every stream, that's
a game changer.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Jay? Or
well, I mean, you also have to look because of capitalism.
Sure.
They're going to find a way to pass this on to the consumer. So if you're paying $9 for Spotify now, your $9 might go to $25.
I think that's fine.
You know, and honestly,
it's worth it though. Like
to me, I can make sense of paying $25 to have every song that I've ever liked on my phone and have immediate access to it 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
But I need to at least be able to download a number of albums a month to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Because if something happens, there's an outage, I don't have this album anymore.
Yep.
So if I'm paying that much money, if you can group it with like 5 albums every month, I get to pick 5 albums that I get to actually download and save.
And depending on how much, like tiers.
Yeah.
Well, then that's,
I mean, maybe I'm a little extreme on this, but I think anybody, and this is as an artist that has music, if you buy my music, well, I guess maybe that's the piece.
You should have access to it at all times.
But if you buy it, like you should be able to have it. Now streaming, I guess that is a little bit more challenging. That is a little bit more challenging. Yeah. Okay. So do you think it would make it easier for people to exploit and moonlight as artists, or is this generally just a good thing? If those people weed out, does it matter?
I think it's generally just a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because, I mean, the amount of people that's going to do it, they're going to continue to do it. Like people that have the love for the craft, they're going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
But because you're not getting paid for it now. You know what I mean? So
no, for sure.
Yeah. So you're just going to continue to do it. But
another question would be like, do you think, does this adjust the direct to consumer approach that we've been kind of moving towards? You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
And is that a good thing?
I think it accompanies it.
It's a good for the artist.
Yeah.
It's good for the artist, but not for the consumer.
You don't think it's good for the consumer?
I don't think so. You know what I mean? Just because it takes away convenience.
I think the convenience is still there. It's just that you're paying more for that convenience. And I feel like at the stage that we're in now, the convenience actually probably should cost more. I hate to even have to say that.
It's so true though.
But it's like, if you think about it, back in the day, I'm going to Best Buy or wherever Rockin' Billy's buying an album every single week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $15 at least a week. I'm spending $60 to $90 a month on music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can spend $10 and stream every album that comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, if they're able to do that to where the artist is able to benefit from it, I actually see some value.
I just feel like we've been just shafted as musicians for so long that it's just become like normalized in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so like we just kind of expect to not pay for art
Yes.
And it's just like, it's going to be hard to change people's minds on that. So,
but like, even as a DJ, I mean, I've paid for record pools that charge you $30 a month just for me to be able to get into this library of music. It's not even worth it at the end of the day. It might be some gems here and there that I might be able to pick from, but I've scaled back on that. And granted, I make money off of playing these songs. So when I think about $30 a month, you factor it in for how much you're charging for, you know what I'm saying, the DJ, it absolves it. But at the end of the day, I'm still paying for the music and I'm downloading the music. So I own every track that I've paid for, or the subscription for the record pool, I own those songs. So it doesn't matter if that record pool goes out of business tomorrow. I've already downloaded these songs and I got them. So in that sense, it's worth it. Yeah. And it's built into what I'm charging people to DJ for. So if they're able to come up with a tier, streaming, the artist is getting paid, and it might be $20 a month for the consumer, I don't think anybody's going to bat an eye at it.
Yeah. Second question, which I think is the more applicable question of this actually, is like, does something like this have a chance of passing in the United States of America when it's backed by Congress people such as Rashida, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and the likes, where they're the squad?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, and the thing is, the big tech companies that do not want to pay, and the companies that are, you're talking about Amazon's got a music streaming service, so you definitely know that Jeff Bezos is going to make a few phone calls and say no.
Come on, man.
And then there's too much money on the other side.
This is who Trump is working for. He's working for his friends. So if he's able to look out for his friends and is able to continue to pad their pockets like he's doing, there's no way that this is going to pass.
It's not even just him though. Like because obviously he's got to get through the House and all that other stuff first. So they occupy the space and all of those. Yeah.
So
I don't know if this is synonymous with I don't know all these Congress people. Like I don't know if they're all Republicans or Democrats, or if some are left leaning. Like I don't know. I'd be very curious of Mr. Thompson of Mississippi if is he a Republican?
Mississippi,
more than likely. Mississippi says it all.
You might have played banjo.
He might be from Jackson,
a little bit.
That's the only place in Mississippi that has any blue.
Second congressional district. Is he a Democrat or a Republican? Yeah. He's a Republican.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well,
wait, that's Glenn. Hold on, this is Glenn. Oh wait,
is Glenn Thomas a Democrat or Republican?
Benny Glenn Thomas. Okay. So I know. I feel like if the people that are introducing it are bipartisan, that maybe that there could be some push
some
there.
Movement, yeah.
I don't really see outside of like the numbers are so insanely skewed towards the tech companies on this that even a penny probably isn't even enough.
It's not.
You know what I mean? But
that's what's so crazy about it is it's not going to really affect the company's bottom line a whole lot, but it's going to mean the world to these artists just receiving that one penny.
Just think about it. When you go to a restaurant or a bar, like that Touch Tunes thing, like you pay $1, $2 to hear a song there, and right here, it's just like, could we get a penny?
Yeah,
one penny, one greenback.
Now, granted, some of those are royalties are paid.
Yes, I'm not saying
but it's still a fraction. But still, like it's not $1.
But once again, it's coming from the consumer. It's not coming from the service provider.
Yeah. After the show, I'll show you guys. I have a file that because I talk a class about music distribution and royalties, and I have an entire Excel sheet of like I pulled up recently like my entire how much I made from like last month, right? Mm-hmm. And you can see the fractions of a penny for every single thing, and there's like 20 different ways that everything collects money and all this stuff, and it's amazing how many times something can get played and still only make like $7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like it's not like 0.00. It's like 0.00000000124. It's like, it's crazy. So.
Somebody's eating off that and it ain't the artist.
How much does section leaders get paid for 8-bit?
I did look. We actually did have a handful of streams and I'm pretty sure that they're from you.
They're all me. Yeah.
But I I think it has to be a bipartisan push.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if that's the case, then maybe.
Absolutely. It's the only way to go.
All right. Well, pay artists more and
Please
don't be so stingy. We talked about this and maybe this is something that is kind of off to the side. We talked about how streaming services, how we're not for streaming services going up in price the way they are, and we can say this because we have kind of an anchor in music, all of us, between being DJs, producers, whatever it is I do. And to me, I'm like, yeah, I'd pay $25 a month to have access to all these songs, but it's been a sticking point to where I'm not willing to pay $30 a month to have access to all these video games when Game Pass decided to raise this price. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not willing to pay, $18 a month for HBO Max or whatever, Go or whatever it's called now. So I think we have to have that. There's some people who feel the way we feel about movies. I mean, the way we feel about music, they might feel about that library of movies from HBO or Netflix or Hulu or whatever. And the same thing for video games. There's a breaking point for people.
Yeah, you start to evaluate what's actually important.
Yeah.
And so if I can spend the $30-$40 for the game or just to be online, like what's just online price? Because
I think the online price is like $19-$20.
Yeah, I might have to be cool with that because I only play a handful of games a year anyway.
Yeah.
But I listen to all the albums.
Yeah.
I listen to every Friday. If it's if there's something I'm interested in, I gotta at least give it a run so I know what I'm talking about when I show up here, or just because I like the artist.
And it doesn't make it. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I would be very curious how different ways of collecting royalties would be affected by something like this. Like, for example, a big thing that's been introduced in the last handful of years, last decade or so, is Content ID.
Yeah.
So, how does that work if somebody uploads my music on YouTube?
Well, AI is doing that to artists now. So they're actually, AI is using your name, your likeness, and uploading albums into these streaming platforms. Looking at that, because that's going on right now.
Well, it's different. That you're talking about the Suno stuff. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
About taking the intellectual property and pumping it into an algorithm. And
No, I'm saying it's actually using some of these artists' names and parading around like them and uploading it into these services.
Oh, that is another contentious point that, there's no way, sometimes there's no way to verify. They've started at, like, Spotify and Apple Music have started creating, like, you have to verify your Spotify account and your Apple Music play when you upload music. So you can't, like, I can't upload a song as Radiohead and then all of a sudden, like, my one song is like next to all their shit and then I get all their plays. Like, that's kind of foul, but the AI stuff this is a whole nother conversation. But I'm very curious how, like, something like this would affect, Content ID, or if it affects all streaming platforms or just some of them. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it would, just to add to it, it would make people's interest in an album more heightened based on if I'm paying more for this streaming service.
I also, too, wonder if it would bring bootlegging back to some degree.
Where are you going to play it, though?
On your computer, on your phone. Like, if you can download a zip file from these blogs still exist.
Yeah.
Like, you
could have a Fire Stick for music.
It will it will exist if it needs to exist. You know what I mean? And the problem that I have with the difference between, like, streaming, like, video media, TV and stuff like that versus, like, music is, like, you can pay one subscription for one service and get all the music. That's for the most part, unless
for the most part.
I don't have my stuff on Spotify, but generally speaking, you can get most people's stuff on any one thing. It's not like that with streaming movies and everything else. It's like $20 here, $30 here, or it's going to be probably,
Unless,
so now it's like, that is going to bring bootlegging back. That is going to bring people buying VPNs. I'm not suggesting people do this, but it's going to, people are going to be doing this and setting up Plex servers, and
Hey,
It's what's going to
folks
happen
can't even
because of
buy
it.
houses nowadays. So when it comes down to what's important, people love music.
Yeah.
And they'll find a way to get to it if they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they also would, if any of this, it didn't seem like any of this would be subsidized by tax money. It looks like it was all the actual companies themselves.
Oh, I got an idea, man. I'm gonna tell you after the show.
Okay.
I've been sitting on this for a minute. I'll be stewing, and this is very similar, but it's a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, good positive vibes for these Congress for these Congress people.
Does it involve a free hat?
Absolutely free hats. They would love us.